Welcome back, everybody, to the channel. It's me, Raul Alejandro Mendoza, or the Nerd Chicano. Either way, how you say it, it's all good here. And we're back again for another Blu Ray review here on the channel. Today, we're going to be taking a look at one of my Criterions here, as we looked last week at Andrei Tarkovsky's Mirror from Criterion. Today, we're going to be looking at another one, and we're continuing on with these these reviews here on a Friday. Hope everyone's having a good Friday and hope everyone's staying safe and everything is okay. So we're going to continue on and look through some of my collection and just talk about some of these titles that I get to watch and some that I have yet to watch or some that I'm watching for the first time in general from film perspective, like not even just the disc but the movie in general. And of course, if you do like content like this, make sure you stick around here and you leave a like on this video and make sure that you subscribe. Click the notification bell when you subscribe to get a notification every single time when content drops here on the channel. That way, you're always here. You're always here and you're never going to miss a single lick of content here. Last week we looked at Mirror. The week before that we looked at Menace to Society on 4K. And today we're looking at none other than Celine Sciamma's Portrait of a Lady on Fire from 2019. Yep, this is I don't even know, it's like one of my, not my firsts, but it was like one of those like first 10 or first 15 Criterions that I owned. This is a film that I really liked in 2019, and when it got announced for the Criterion Collection, I was so excited, and I made sure I bought this. And of course, we've talked about this on the Cinema Condition. I've talked about it on the Nerdcore. I've written reviews about it. I've done a video about it on the Nerdcore channel. I've done so much content, and hopefully this is honestly the last time I do a video on this, because at this point, I don't know how many times I can talk about this film. But as you can tell, I love this movie, and I'm really happy to be able to talk about the Criterion. And yeah, this beautiful thing right here. Let's get into it, shall we? So, this is a Portrait of a Lady on Fire from the Criterion Collection. This is coming in at spine number 1034. So, this is the front of the Blu-ray. This is the back. Oh, there we go. That should be best for y'all not to get a glare in there. And, yeah, this is going to be the spine right there. There we go, yeah, spine right there. And of course, it is in amaret, so we just open it like this. And you get your disc and your little pamphlet, booklet right there. Open that up. We put that to the side. And you have, your special thanks, your credits, your cast and your crew, a essay here, and yeah, so look, this is the little art over here. This is really cool. I like this a lot. But if you close it, like you don't, well, not entirely close it, but you put these two together, it makes that nice scene from the actual film. But yeah, this is the essay comes in here in the pamphlet in the booklet. So that is the inside of this Criterion version of Portrait of a Lady on Fire, and of course nothing too special in the back. That's it. Criterion's not like Arrow Video that sometimes gives you like reversible artwork or stuff like that, but it's still cool. I really like this one. It's simple, it's clean, and I've got to say the art is like one of my favorite arts that they made for the cover arts for a Criterion release. Now let's go ahead and read here a little bit about Celine Sciamma's Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Passion brews quietly between an artist and her subject until together they create a space in which it can briefly flourish in this sumptuous 18th century romance from Celine Sciamma, one of contemporary French cinema's most acclaimed auteurs. Summoned to an isolated seaside estate on a secret assignment, Marianne, played by Noémie Merlan, must find a way to paint a wedding portrait of Heloise, played by Adèle Haenel, who is resisting Chateau marriage by furtively observing her. What unfolds in exquisite tension is an exchange of sustained gazes in which the two women come to know each other's gestures expressions and bodies with rapturous intimacy, ultimately forging a subversive creative collaboration as well as a delirious romance. Charged with a yearning that almost transcends time and space, Portrait of a Lady on Fire mines the emotional and artistic possibilities that emerge when women can freely live together and see one another in a world without men. So this is a director-approved special edition, so it comes with a new 4K digital master with 5.1 surround sound DTS HD master audio soundtrack on the Blu Ray. There's a new conversation between director Celine Sciamma and film critic Dana Stevens. There's new interviews with actors Adele Hanel and Noémie Merlant. Interview with cinematographer Claire Mathon from the 2019 Cannes Film Festival. And an interview from 2019 with Helene Delmiar on creating the paintings for the film. Plus, of course, the essay that's inside the packaging here from film critic Ella Betancourt. That is the information provided to us from Criterion.com. So you can tell it's not that bad of a packaging here. I mean, not bad of a deal here. You get some good amount of special features. You get a pretty long essay that you can read, and the film is in here, so not that bad, especially if you're looking for something to buy during the sales when they go live during November and July. And if you're looking for that, this is one of those that you want to pick up. But for me, I'm very happy I own this because this is one of my favorites. So let's talk about this film. This is definitely my favorite film from Celine Sciamma, having watched Water Lilies and Petite Maman, and I'm hoping to watch, some more films from her as I continue to navigate her filmography and, take on that journey, because she is truly one of the most profound directors coming in from France, and she has such an interesting look into femininity and just women and the idea of the body and the way that the body expresses emotion and the way that women and women relationships form and the way that they stick together and the way that they flourish. I think that Celine Sciamma has an incredible perspective that when it comes to this subject, and she does such an incredible job at portraying that within Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Of course, Claire Mathon's cinematography is just exquisite. I think that it's some of the best I've ever seen in general. I think Claire Mathon is an incredible cinematographer. Her work, not just with Portrait of a Lady on Fire, but stuff like Spencer, Atlantics from Mati Diop. It's an incredible cinematographer. She's an incredible cinematographer who works with such great directors and produces, frames that aren't just pretty to look at, but they have a story that just, expresses itself through every single frame. Every single frame conveys every single emotion that needs to be displayed, and it's done through Portrait of a Lady on Fire multiple times. I love the way that Sciamma kind of concentrates so much on, the longing for love and the longing for intimacy, and the way that she frames, the way that she kind of portrays the intimacy, and how easily this could have been a film where they rapidly will kiss like on the second day, but it takes time and it builds for them to finally have that first kiss. And I think it makes it worth the journey to see that love just blossom, and it does the film does an incredible job at being able to do that. The performances from Hanel and Merlant are just incredible, and they are buzzing with chemistry. They feel exactly as a couple would feel like, and when you finally get to those heartbreaking scenes where the woman has to leave the island because she's actually going to get married, you feel all of that pain that is felt throughout the film. I think that the film is near perfect. The only reason I never give it that really, really perfect score to me is because I feel like the pace is a little bit off in the second act when they're doing the subplot with the other little girl, the girl who lives in the house with them, and I think the film kind of jumbles a bit there. I understand the film is very important to highlight that part. By the way, it's something that needs to be in there, but it feels like it kind of jumbles a bit when we get there. But by the time we move past that and we feel like the gravity of the situation, we start to get back right on track with the film, and it ends up crescendoing in such a, beautiful and heartbreaking ending that just always kind of leaves me with goosebumps. And I love this movie. I think as well, like, the music is fantastic. It's just one of my favorite films from 2019 and one of my favorite films of all time in general. Now let's talk about this transfer. Of course, I watched this on my I've actually watched this on multiple devices at this point. I've been able to tell the difference when it comes to this transfer now that because I watched this on an Xbox One before. I've watched this film in theaters before. I've watched this now on a on my Panasonic 4K player on this 4K TV. I've watched it on a plasma screen TV. I've seen this film on a LED TV. I've watched this on a LED TV. I've seen this film on multiple formats at this point, and I can tell you that this transfer never stops looking great. I especially am a big fan of the way that this looks on my 4K player being upscaled to 4K on my 4K TV. I think this looks fantastic. Some of my favorite, just the way the color grading, the color grading that Mathon and Sciamma chose with the colorists to kind of portray this 18th century island here. It's incredible. I love the way that this film looks like that. I like the fire. It just that beautiful orange hue is impossible to resist. It's just an incredible transfer that kind of highlights all of those aspects that I loved watching in the theater and that are kind of hard to kind of replicate on a Blu Ray disc. But when I was watching this film on my TV, I truly felt like this is exactly kind of to the way that I watched this at the theater, and I love it. The sound design as well is just fantastic. I love the Modern Euro soundtrack, the way that the waves sound, the audio is crisp, the dialogue is crisp. The brush kind of moving along and the way that she's painting, it just sounds so beautiful. It's an incredible soundtrack that accompanies the beautiful video quality that's given in this film. So I love it. It's just one of my favorite releases from Criterion. It's also one of my favorite films. But overall, I mean, they just did an incredible job at transferring this on a beautiful quality, not just video but audio as well. And they give us one of the best releases from Criterion in that time when this finally came out. And I love this film. I love this release, and honestly, I recommend it to everybody who is kind of starting their Criterion Collection journey. If you've never seen anything from the Criterion Collection, you're looking for something to start, and you want to buy something, and you're interested in French cinema, and you're interested in queer cinema, I always 100% recommend this film. If you're going to start your Criterion Collection journey, I recommend you picking up Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Of course, to stay up to date with me on all things social media, make sure that you follow me on everywhere. Everything. Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, Letterboxd, Serialized, at The Nerd Chicano. Every single one of those places, I'm under the same name, at The Nerd Chicano. So make sure that you're up to date, keeping up to date with me on there. I share a lot of stuff about movies. I share a lot about, my life in general. But, keep up to date with me there and just let's talk and talk about physical media. Let's talk about movies. I love communicating with y'all. So, of course, make sure you keep up to date with all the things that I do on the Nerdcore by going to nerdcore.com. And, of course, if you want to get this video early or videos like this early, go to www.patreon.com/thenerdchicano and join the $3 tier for some early access. And other than that, it's been a lot of fun, y'all. I've got more Criterions to get through and more films to get through here. So come back next week on another Friday for another Blu Ray review. But in the meantime, hope you all are enjoying our journey through Decalogue on Between the Frames. But without further ado, my wonderful cinephiles and renowned scholars, celebrate the love of cinema today, tomorrow, and every day after. Catch you all on the next one, guys. Bye.